Carolyn Dube here. Welcome to April's Colorful Jelly Print Party. This month I'm using a dirty jelly plate that has some paint that's dried on it. You can tell there's a bit of a stencil pattern on there. And what I'm going to use is packing tape. I'm going to cover the entire jelly plate in strips of packing tape. That is if I don't get it all stuck to the paper that happens to be on the counter. I'm going to move that paper since the tape keeps getting stuck in it. And that piece of tape is too short. Maybe I should have measured. Nah, I'm not going to measure. And so the goal is just, without the tape touching each other, cover this whole thing. If the tape touches another piece of tape, that means they're going to stick together and be even harder for me to get to do things. And that piece of tape had a little bit of a wrinkle in it, and I didn't like it, so I'm going to grab another piece of tape. Boy, I'm all thumbs with the tape today. Got 3 pieces on here, and that covers up most of the jelly plate. I've got a strip of it over there, and I'm not going to waste it. So I'm going to put one last piece of tape on there that's going to cover up about half of the tape will get used. And that's going to give me a cool look too. So every little bit gets used. I'm going to push the tape down just to make sure that it's all made good contact with the jelly plate. And as I lift these up, you can see the jelly plate's really clean underneath it. So this is a great way to clean your jelly plate if you want to do that. And to make it a little easier for you to see all the pattern that's been picked up by that tape, I'm going to put a piece of white paper underneath it so you can see just the pattern that's on the tape. Now this paint palette that's over here that's loaded with brushes and sponges from some other play that I was doing today, well, I'm going to use some of that paint to add some more color to this tape. I'm working on the sticky side of the tape, and I'm just going to add on some acrylic paint. I chose yellow because I think the pink will really pop against that. Once I've got the paint all on it, I should let it dry before I flip it over, but I just want to show you what it looks like. And so now all of a sudden you can see the pattern mixed with the yellow behind it. Well, here's the second piece of tape that I've pulled off the jelly plate. And this time, for a different look, I'm going to put white paint on the back side of it. I'm going to use a heavy-bodied white paint because I want it to be very, very opaque. There's a lot of great colors on this, and I want all of them to stand out and pop. Well, how did I have such an interesting pattern on my jelly plate? What I did is I just didn't take that last ghost print that I could have off of the plate. So that thin layer of paint, I let that stay there and dry. Then that became the pattern that I pulled up with the tape. And here with the white, all those colors really stand out and I get all the interesting details. So for this piece of tape, I wanted to use some orange, but if I used the same color of orange that I used when making the print that made the tape, I was going to lose some detail. So I mixed some white in with the orange to create a lighter version of it. And you can see I'm pretty much mixing it right there on the tape as there are some streaks of white and some streaks of orange, and I think that's going to be a cool effect when I flip it over. Oh, I really like the creaminess of that. Well, I've got one last piece of tape here, and this piece of tape is about half covered with ink or paint and half of it not covered with paint. So I'm going to take advantage of that by using 2 different colors of paint on this. So one color's on the plain tape and one color's on the printed part of the tape. And when I flip this over, you can see that it gave it a very different look than my other pieces of tape. And here's what all the tapes look like after I let them dry. Now they're ready to be used in an art journal, making a card, tags, whatever I want to use them for. To get them to stick to something, all I'm going to do is put some gel medium or glue on the back, almost as if these are now just a shiny, glossy piece of paper. Well, now it's your turn to play. I'd love to see what you're making with your jelly plate. We're sharing now for the Colorful Jelly Print Party over in the Google community called a Colorful Playground. And what you're seeing here are just some of the great things that were shared with us last month. And how do you get to the Colorful Playground? Well, I'll have a link down below for you, and you can hop on over and check it all out. Look forward to seeing you over on the playground. Thanks for being a part of this colorful journey.